Welcome to ICT applications. Today we are going to talk about software. In previous lessons, we discussed about the basic components of a computer system. Now, in this lesson, we will discuss about system software and application software. After completing this lesson, you will be able to describe system software and application software, and also you will be able to explain their uses. Also, you will be able to describe system software, describe system utilities and driver programs, and describe application software. So, during today's lesson, we will be covering what is a software, types of software, system software and application software, operating systems, system utilities and drivers, and finally, we will be covering application software. Software brings the machine to life. Software will allow the computer to perform a specific task. It has a set of instructions that will drive the computer to do a specific task. It will tell the computer's physical components or hardware what to do. Computer instructions or data, anything that can be stored electronically is software. It is also known as a program. As IT students, you will be making use of different kinds of software, and also you will be developing different programs to do special tasks. As such, you must know basics of a software. We can categorize software as system software and application software. In the following slides, you will be learning about system software and application software. Then we have open source and proprietary software. Open source software is a software whose source code is available under a license that permits user to use, change, and improve the software, and also to distribute it in modified or unmodified form. It is usually developed in a public, collaborative manner. For example, we can consider Linux, Netscape, Apache. Moving on to proprietary software, which we can call as non-free software, is a software with restrictions on using, copying, and modifying as enforced by the owner. Restrictions on use, modification, and copying is achieved by either legal or technical means, and sometimes both. For example, we can consider Microsoft Windows, Norton Antivirus. We will discuss this later in another lesson. System software consists of operating system and all the utilities that allow the computer to function. For example, operating system, compiler, interpreter, troubleshooting tools can be considered. Then we have application software used to accomplish specific tasks for user. For example, we can consider word processors, spreadsheets, learning management systems, database management systems, communication software, presentation software, then payroll systems and web browsers. Let's talk about system software in detail. System software is any program that controls the computer's hardware or that can be used to maintain the computer in some way so that it runs more efficiently. They perform functionalities like file editing, input-output management, and storage management. There are two basic types of system software. As I already mentioned, they are operating system and utilities. An operating system acts as an interpreter between the hardware, application program, and the user. Utility is a program that makes the computer system easier to use or performs highly specialized functions like manage disk, troubleshoot hardware problems. Operating systems. Operating system tells the computer how to use its components. It allows the communication between software and hardware. Every computer has an operating system. When the user gives a command, the operating system translates it into code that the machine can use. So it acts as an interface between the application programs and the machine's hardware. It converts basic user requests into a set of instructions that the hardware requires. For example, retrieve data from disk, get a printout. Furthermore, it regulates the startup process. Here, the kernel is one of the first programs loaded on startup after the bootloader. It handles the rest of startup process. Then it loads applications of the computer. Application programs load and run applications such as word processors, spreadsheets into computer's memory. Most operating systems support multitasking or provide the ability to run more than one application at a time. For example, Windows, Macintosh, Ubuntu, Android, we can consider as operating systems that we use today. Every operating system performs basic functions as follows. Display the on-screen elements on a user interface. Users interact with the application programs and computer hardware through a user interface. Most of the operating systems provide Windows-like graphical user interface. Manage resources. Resource programs coordinate all the computer's resources, including input-output devices, secondary storage devices, and memory. For an instance, it controls how memory is accessed and maximizes available memory and storage. Also, it handles the user accounts and controls access to the system resources through protection against unauthorized access. User accounts have login username and passwords. Then manage processing tasks. Basically, it handles multitasking, time sharing, scalability. Multitasking means more than one program can run at the same time. Then time sharing allows more than one person to use a computer system at the same time. In scalability, it is the ability of the computer to handle an increasing number of concurrent users smoothly. Finally, we can consider networking capability. Features and capabilities of the operating system aid users in connecting to a computer network. Operating systems can be organized into four main types as follows. Real-time operating system. They are very fast, relatively small operating systems that are usually embedded operating systems. Embedded operating systems are built into the circuitry of a device and do not load from disk drive. Real-time operating systems are needed to run real-time applications. They respond to certain inputs extremely quickly. Single-user, single-tasking operating system. It allows a single user to perform a single task at a time. They take less space on disk or memory. For example, MS-DOS and Palm OS are single-user, single-tasking operating systems. Single-user multitasking operating system. It allows a single user to perform multiple tasks at a time. Personal computers have such operating systems. For example, a user can print a large document while doing other work on his or her computer. Multi-user multitasking operating system. It allows multiple users to use programs that are simultaneously running on a single network server called the terminal server. Multi-use operating system gives each user a complete environment on the server. This is known as user session. Thus, each user runs their applications on the server separated from other user sessions. Thus, this is not the same as accessing file or a printer through a network server. Unix, VMS are some of the example operating systems for multi-user, multitasking operating systems. In future weeks to come, you will get hands-on experience on using Microsoft Windows and Linux operating systems. System utilities and drivers. Operating systems are designed to do most of the tasks that you normally do, such as managing files, loading programs, printing documents, etc. To extend the capabilities of the operating system, utilities are created. Sometimes these programs will provide new features that are not provided by the operating system. Some of these utilities will be introduced as part of the operating system when releasing new versions of the operating system. Some of the common utility programs are given below. Backup programs that helps a user create backup copies of the files on their computer. Disk cleaners. They help a user to free up space on a storage device. Antivirus software. A computer program used to prevent, detect, and remove viruses or other damaging programs that could invade your computer system. Troubleshooting programs to recognize the problems before they become serious and helps to fix the problem. uninstall programs. To allow you to safely and completely remove programs and related files not needed from your hard disk. File compression programs to reduce the size of the files, to save storage space, and to be sent more efficiently over the internet. Then task managers, monitors that summarize computer's performance for the user. Then we have system updates. Finally, screensavers to automatically hide what is shown on the screen when a keyboard or a pointing device is not in use. They are some of the examples for utility programs. Without these utilities, it would be a lot harder for users to manage and keep their computers running optimally. Then we have device drivers. Each time new hardware is connected to a computer, the operating system detects and identifies the hardware. Installation of a new device can then happen automatically, or user can do it manually. For example, we can consider printer keyboard drivers. Then we have system development programs, language processors or language translators. It translates high-level language into machine language. It also checks for errors in language syntax and fixes the problems. As shown here, it includes assembler, compiler, and interpreter. An assembler converts program written in assembly language to machine language or object code. Then compiler converts a complete high-level language program to machine language or a lower-level language at a time. Interpreter converts one high-level language program statement at a time to machine language or to a lower-level language. It is a line-by-line translation. For example, we can consider Python, PHP programs. Let us do this activity. An IoT-based operating system is an operating system designed for the demands and specifications of IoT devices and applications. You have to identify the best operating system for IoT devices, then compare and contrast operating systems that control IoT devices and typical desktop operating systems. Application software. Application software tells the computer how to accomplish tasks the user requires. They are created to specific tasks like creating documents, spreadsheets, databases, sending email, designing graphics. Application softwares are installed according to users' requirements, and to load and run them, system software are required. These application softwares can be user designed or customized specific to users' needs, or can be ready-made application software. Here you can see some examples for application software. Word processing is a tool that helps user in creating, editing, and printing documents. For example, we can consider Microsoft Word Writer. Then spreadsheet packages are designed to use numbers and formulas to do calculations with ease. For example, for budgets, grade calculations, we can use spreadsheets. We can consider Microsoft Excel and Calc as examples. Presentation programs can make giving presentations and using overheads easily. For example, we can consider Microsoft PowerPoint and Impress. Database Management Systems, or DBMS, is a software tool that allows multiple users to store, access, and process data into useful information. For example, a database for university would be designed to store students, lecturers, and course details. So you can find what you need quickly and accurately. For example, we can consider Microsoft Access, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and Base. Then we have graphic editors, MS Paint, Visio, Photoshop, we can consider. Also, we have accounting systems, enterprise resource planning systems, and learning management systems. You have many other application software that you can use for your activities. In future weeks to come, you will learn about Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. To summarize what we learned today, we discussed about system software and application software. System software can be divided as operating systems and utilities. Operating system acts as the master control program, and utility programs extend the capability of the operating system. In the next lesson, you will learn about the differences in open source software and proprietary software. Thank you.